Hey guys, it is Shadowswolm, and I've got some more League of Legends updates for you guys. Vel'Koz, the Eye of the Void, has been revealed. I'm gonna have gameplay footage hopefully later on in the week, but let's just look over what Riot's got to say about him. So, Vel'Koz, the Eye of the Void, revealed by 6-2. The Void is preparing to split forth its latest monstrosity, Vel'Koz, a terrifying being created for the sole purpose of learning. Vel'Koz absorbs the knowledge and accurses understanding through a multitude of tests and scans. Unfortunately, those very tests, while extremely productive for Vel'Koz, have tendencies to utterly destroy his subjects. His passive, Organic Deconstruction. Vel'Koz's abilities deconstruct those they strike. After being hit 3 times by his abilities, minions, monsters, and enemy champions are deconstructed and suffer bonus true damage. Enemies lose their deconstruction stacks by avoiding Vel'Koz's abilities for a short while. So, think of it in terms of, Vayne's Silverbolt plus Corki's passive. His actual passive, not anything else. So, yeah. That good mix. Plasma Fusion, his Q. Vel'Koz fires a plasma bolt that slows down and damages the first enemy struck. Once Plasma Fusion reaches its maximum range, or is reactivated a second time, the bolt splits at a 90-degree angle. The split bolts deal the same damage and apply the same slow. So, think of it in terms of Anivia's Q plus Lyssandra's Q plus... Yeah, that's actually it. So Anivia's Q where you can kind of reactivate it, and Lyssandra's where, after the initial hit, it goes ahead and splits up into 3, or splits up into 2 in this case, but instead of at a 45-degree angle in that cone, it's actually a 90-degree split for 3 successfully straight lines. W. Void Rift. Vel'Koz sends out a straight line blast that tears open a rift or temporary rift to the void before exploding. Both the initial tear and the delayed explosion damage and apply deconstruction stacks to caught enemies. His E, Tectonic Disruption. After a brief delay, Vel'Koz disrupts a nearby area, damaging and launching all enemies caught into the air. Enemies hit that are close to Vel'Koz are also knocked back slightly. And his R, Lifeform Disintegration Ray. Vel'Koz channels a ray of infinite energy that follows the cursor for a brief while, damaging, slowing, and deconstructing all enemies in a line. So, just going to go ahead and take a quick look at the screenshot. As you guys can see, this is exactly what his abilities look like. So there's the, Rift, there's his ultimate, there's the Tectonic Disruption, there's the Plasma Bolt, and there's just him. So, first of all, for those of you that don't know, Riot works on 3 to 4 champions at a time, and they kind of pick and choose which ones they feel are ready to go, and, go from there. So they feel that Vel'Koz is ready to go, that's why they're releasing him on the PBE as of right now. As I said, I'm going to try and get, gameplay footage of him later on. So, a little blurb again from Riot. Vel'Koz is a ranged mage born to blast out overwhelming damage over sustained fights. With long-range harass available from the start of the game, Vel'Koz is a fragile but threatening early presence who relies on his teammates' protection to bring his full force to bear come late game. And they feel he's good in the mid lane, so let's just read. Vel'Koz is a creature of raw power, not speed, and as such carries out his finest research on the mid lane of Summer's Rift. The towers here are placed closer together, giving Eye of the Void less distance to travel when enemy junglers dare to get between him and his research subjects. A short auto-attack range means that Vel'Koz is often in the thick of fighting, but he has the necessary tools in his abilities to dissuade his lane opponents from engaging. Enemy mid laners within their own minion waves are vulnerable to poke through Void Rift, while opponents caught out in the open make easy targets for Plasma Fusion. Using abilities frequently benefits Vel'Koz. Fully stacking Organic Deconstruction against his opposing laner deals substantial true damage, forcing his counterpart to choose between moving in to secure minion gold or retreating until their deconstruction stacks have dissipated. Aggressive enemies risk a quick death once Vel'Koz reaches them with further rounds of Void Rift, followed by tectonic disruption, while those that flee are subject to considerable range harass. With clever aim and timing of Plasma Fusion's second cast, Vel'Koz can both sear his ability around enemy minions and gain additional range through a geometric finesse. Vel'Koz becomes an entirely different beast once he gains access to Lifeform Disintegration Ray. His ult deals devastating amounts of damage to all enemies caught, but its long channel time and slow turn speed makes initial positioning absolutely paramount. Because of this, Vel'Koz does best bring his ult to bear following a few successful rounds of poke. After his opponents are successfully researched with organic deconstruction and wounded enough to keep their distance, even the minion cover often granted by distance is ignored by Lifeform Disintegration Ray's absolute power, which fully affects all enemies within its substantial range. So much like, with that, his ult sounds to be kind of like Lux's, but you can aim it for a little bit. Yeah, and it hits everything. So that's gnarly. Team fights. As team fights start skirmishing around Summoner's Rift, Vel'Koz is safest positioning himself within or behind his allies, harassing his enemies with repeated casts of Plasma Fusion and Tectonic Disruption. When caught in unfavorable positions, Vel'Koz fires off Plasma Fusion while retreating to guide his pursuers and positions Void Rift and choke points to dissuade enemies from following further. In favorable situations, Vel'Koz uses the same ability to separate his subject from its pack before unleashing Tectonic Disruption and Plasma Fusion to quickly catch and dispatch them. In full-scale teamfights, Vel'Koz again works best from the back line, tossing out damage and crowd control with Plasma Fusion as he builds deconstruction stacks on his enemies. Allied protection is key here as enemy bruisers. Positioning is key here as enemy bruisers, once they get to Vel'Koz, make short work of his tentacled glass cannon. Tentacles. Still, Vel'Koz has a few tricks of his own to ensure his safety. Plasma Fusion makes for an excellent kiting tool, while the combined knockback and knockup of Tectonic Disruption allows Vel'Koz to reposition away from danger. Finally, once enemies are primed for harass, once his team has set up a safe area for Vel'Koz to channel in, Eye of the Void unleashes Lifeform Disintegration Ray to melt through the massed enemy ranks and leave his foes staggering under sheer, overwhelming damage. So, yeah. As I said, I cannot wait to play him and upload a video. There's 2 skins he has. I'm going to show you guys both. There's Battlecast and there's his standard skin. This right here is his standard skin. So, again, there'll be gameplay footage of all of his abilities, what they look like in his normal mode, what we can actually see here, and what they look like in Battlecast, with the Battlecast skin, that is. And, just kind of how he plays, how I feel he is. A person's already told me he thinks that he's better as a support instead of as a mid laner, but, I'll check out for myself, I'll do different builds, etc. So, it's coming, guys. Just wait. Working 10 hours a day, 4 days a week sucks. But yeah, guys, if you want to check out more stuff, I just recently uploaded the patch 4.2 notes up on the channel. Go ahead, check that out. And as always, my name has been Shadowswalm, and I hope to talk to you all next time.